Welcome. I will wait until a few people hop on, and at the same time I will start sharing in the private group. If you do hop on live, let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know where you are tuning in from. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know by writing replay in the comments. I'll go back and give you a shout out. So let me just begin by sharing the live in our group. I don't see it. I hope it worked because I don't see myself on. There I am. It is working. Perfect. Let me just share it. Here I am. I can see myself. So now let me just share it in the group and we're going to get started. Here we go. There we go. I'll share it out. Ready to go. I must say I have been having a most wonderful September. I think this is one of the best Septembers I've had in my life, or at least for a long time. And for many reasons, I guess I am in a different part of my life now, a different season, and I'm feeling more productive and creative and really aligning with my purpose and what I'm here to do. So for those of you that are brand new to the group, brand new to the page or on my YouTube channel, welcome. I'm happy that you found me. I am Christina Rizakos. I'm a daycare business mentor and strategist. I am an early childhood educator by trade. So I've been working in daycares and in the daycare field for over 21 years. And I also own my own daycare center in Montreal, Quebec, where I'm from. I opened it back in 2004 and never looked back. So I have been really invested in early childhood education and business and setting up systems and automations in my business so then I can free up more of my time to do more things that I enjoy. I founded profitabledaycare.com. I think it was about 5-6 months ago because I found that I was getting asked a lot, how do I open up a daycare center? What do you do if a teacher does this? How do I create a policy or a certain form or just anything that had to do with running a daycare center or a childcare center? And I thought that these are questions that a lot of you had. And what better way to reach more of you than starting a website and putting out weekly videos, weekly trainings, free templates every single week on my YouTube channel as well as on my blog and my website to get it out there to you guys. Because I know what it's like, especially if you are brand new in the daycare field. Maybe you've been dreaming of opening your center for a while, or maybe you have a center, you've just opened up, but you're not sure how to create, handbooks or policy booklets or procedures, and you just need help. You need a mentor. This is what I'm here to do. This is something that I did not have, that's for sure. 15 years ago when I ventured off into entrepreneurship and, running my own center. At the time, I was straight out of college. I was working in the field, I would say, I think it was around 4 or 5 years. And I did a little bit of everything. I did preschool, I did after school daycare, I did daycare centers, home daycare, and I loved the work. I loved working with the kids. But then throughout the years, as I was, in different areas and different centers, I started seeing things that I didn't like. And it was then that I decided that I wanted to venture off and open up my own center. And I know many of you watching this today right now probably have a vision. You might be working in a center that you may or may not like, right? Maybe there's issues with your boss, the director, maybe you have issues with the coworkers, maybe you don't agree with the philosophy or the way they handle certain things, but you can't really say anything because it's not yours, it's not your business, you're there to work, and that's hard. I mean, it was hard for me at least. So in 2004, I drew the line in the sand and I said, if I was going to venture off into owning my own business, it was going to be then. And that's what I did. I quit my job, and along with my business partner, who was 2 years younger than I was at the time, so she was 22, I was 24, we ventured off and we started asking questions, doing research, and we opened up our center September 13th, 2004 actually. And we've been doing that ever since. For us, it was very important that we have a center where families that would walk in, and the staff as well, anyone that would walk in the center, we wanted it to feel like a second home. That was really important. We wanted, obviously, our customers, the clients, to feel safe. We wanted the kids to be safe and to learn and to be stimulated. And we wanted an amazing team. That was one of the things that I craved for, because every center I had worked at, there was always issues. There was always drama. Someone hated something but never said anything. There was a lot of gossip and stuff like that. And I knew in my gut that I did not want a center where that was happening. So it took us some time. Obviously, it didn't happen right off the bat, especially when if you're brand new to the field and you absolutely have no idea how to hire and how to create, employee handbooks and rules and all that. It's a learning process. It took us some time. There was a lot of errors involved, but we learned, and we have staff working for us over 10 years now, and the center's been open for 15. So I think that says a lot. One of the things that I wanted to discuss with you today, which brings me to the point of the training, is burnouts. Burnouts and your child care center. When I say burnouts, I specifically mean burnouts when it comes to those that are directly caring for the kids. So whether that's the educators or the assistant educators, because I think in daycare centers, most of the burnouts, this is where this is the most popular position in a daycare, right? When you're directly working with the children every single day. And it's real. I mean, it's real. I've seen it in my centers. I have had a few of my teachers a long time ago have a burnout. I've had close friends that work in other centers that have had experienced themselves burnout. And it's tough, but it's a reality. It's a reality, and although you do your best as a director and as a business owner to make sure your working conditions are awesome, right? And you make sure you take care of your staff, if your heart is in the right place, which I hope it is, things happen. So one of the things that I wanted to mention right off the bat is don't take it personally if you know deep down that you're doing everything you need to be doing to make sure your staff is well taken care of. So wages, rules, responsibilities, just all around the working conditions. Because sometimes things happen in life, in their personal life. There's, sicknesses, there's divorces, there's deaths. There's all sorts of things that can, that are huge factors in someone having a burnout or not. So that's one of the first things I wanted to mention, because if you are a daycare owner or a director and your heart is in the right place, especially if you've already worked in a classroom yourself, like I have worked in a classroom myself for many, many years. And I know what it's like. I know the stresses that, teachers face every single day. I know, we have good days, you have bad days, you have days where you just don't want to hear any noise. You have days where you feel undervalued and unappreciated. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. So if you've never actually lived in a educator's shoes, if you've never had her job and worked her hours, it's difficult to place yourself in their shoes. But if you have, so if you're running a center right now and you've already worked in the classroom for years and you've experienced that side of childcare, then you know that it takes a toll on you, and it's hard work, because you give yourself every single day 100%, and it takes a special person to work with kids and to actually love their job every single day. It's really, really difficult. And sometimes even those amazing teachers that you have burn out, and it's not your fault necessarily, especially if there's other factors, personal things that are going on at home that you may not be aware of. So you need to make sure that you don't take it personally yourself as a director or as a business owner. So with that being said, I have a few things I wanted to talk about today. And before I do, I was doing some research on wages, right? So hourly rates. I'm in Quebec, so I run a subsidized daycare center, and our rates are decided by the municipal government, the provincial government. So I have to meet that criteria, right? So it's great in a way because you know that anywhere an educator is going to work within our province, wages are usually around the same thing, right? Like, so you don't feel like you have to compete with another center because, you know, everyone, let's say, that has 10 years experience automatically gets $23, right? So, but I was doing some research preparing for this video, for this live, and I came across a website called Payscale.com, okay? And I was just curious to see what are wages out there like for educators in the USA. And I was shocked because our educators here in Quebec, I don't want to say have it good because obviously there's always room to improve, but I mean, we have rates that don't even compare to these. So when I was doing my research on the internet and I started reading wages, hourly wages like $11.88 an hour, an early educator. So if you've worked in the field, if you have your diploma in early childhood education and you have 1 to 4 years experience, the average educator earns $12.21 an hour. If you have 5 to 9 years experience with your ECE diploma, it goes up by like 50-60 cents. So it goes up to $12.96. So if you've been working in the field for 10 to 19 years, it goes up to $14.04 an hour. And then if you're really late, they say late in your career, so it's 20 years and higher, it's $15. I think that this is ridiculous. I should have looked into this sooner. I cannot believe that these are rates that directors are paying their educators, especially with years experience, 20 years experience, especially with having an ECE diploma. I don't know what to say. I mean, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It just makes you wonder where we place our values, what's important and what's not. When an educator working with children every single day is making the same amount of money as someone that's selling clothes at like a Gap or wherever, something's not making sense there. Like something's off. So I'm not understanding something. So cost of living is going up, stressors are going up, the demands are higher in your job. I'm pretty sure you have roles and responsibilities and things that you need to do. A lot of educators were complaining about long hours, working throughout their lunch break, taking work home, surpassing 40 hours a week, which is ridiculous. Feeling exhausted, feeling unappreciative. But none of them said that they hated working with the children. It was all complaints about hours, wages, their boss, not feeling that they're valued or that their work is valued. So one out of the 3 teachers suffers from a burnout during their career. 1 out of the 3. And 56% of childcare providers say that they have surpassed a 40-hour work week, more than they'd like to admit. I think it's crazy. I think it's ridiculous. But when I read stuff like that, I'm not surprised that teachers are going on a burnout, right? And I'm sure neither are you. So my focus today for this live was really to discuss signs as a daycare business owner or a director that one of your staff members may be headed towards a burnout. So the early signs, how can you detect? And then I wanted to discuss a few ways you can help. Okay, so as a childcare business owner, right, there's early signs that you should be aware of when educators are starting to really head towards burnout, right? So one of the things that you might notice is an educator that starts being closed off, very rigid, doesn't participate in staff meetings or outings, or maybe you take the staff out once every 6 months for supper or the staff parties. They don't show up. They don't accept help. They act like everything is fine, but clearly you see that there's something going on. You offer to help. It's, the answer is always no. And does not participate well when you have your meetings, staff meetings, outings, whatever. So that's one of the first early signs that something's off with one of your teachers. Second one is irritable. Okay, so this is, you'll probably notice this, maybe she's louder, he or she is louder in the classroom. So you might hear, her or him say no to the kids more, or just being snappy or short-tempered. She gets angry easily or irritated easily. And you start getting more complaints from parents or other staff members about that specific educator. So then you know that there's something definitely going on, right? Third is emotional exhaustion, over medicating. So someone that comes into work and that complains, maybe they don't necessarily complain to you, but you might hear in the hallway, or maybe they might say to a parent or maybe a coworker, oof, I hardly slept last night, I'm exhausted. I didn't feel like getting up this morning, I wanted to snooze the alarm. Is it 5 o'clock yet so I could go home and sleep? They might show up to work looking disheveled. Maybe you've noticed if they're a smoker that they're smoking much more, outside during their lunch break. Maybe they're not eating well or not drinking enough water. They're starting to look unhealthy, and not the person that you hired to work in your center, right? They have brain fog, they start forgetting things, maybe they start getting more and more sick, colds, or maybe body aches or shortness of breath. Then you definitely know that this person is headed for a burnout. And one of the last signs that you might see, the work suffers, obviously. I mean, how could it not, right? So the work starts to suffer low performance. So when you do their yearly or, every 6 months, the performance meeting that you might have with your staff, you notice that, 6 months ago, she let's say was an A, depending on what kind of scale you use, and now she went down to a D. And something is off, performance is not there, her programs are suffering, the kids they're feeling it, they're more agitated in the classroom, parents are complaining about them, they look disheveled, they look unhealthy, they're not eating well, they're complaining that they didn't want to get up in the morning, they're not eating well, they're not sleeping, and you know that this person, something's got to give, something's up, they're headed towards a burnout. Now, as a daycare business owner, what can you do as the owner, as a director of your business? Because you might feel, that maybe there's nothing you can do. Maybe you're just waiting for them just to come in the office and tell you what's going on. The chances are, depending on what kind of relationship you have with your staff, that they might not come. They might not come and tell you that, look, this is what's happening, and I'm feeling like this, and I'm sorry. So it's up to you as the business owner, as the director, to call them in the office and have a conversation. So that's the first thing that I would do. I would call them in the office, request a meeting with them, organize a time and a place, calm, when it's not busy, right? When you have time and they have time, and call them in the office and have a meeting and voice your concerns. Be genuine. Don't come off as upset or irritated with them. Really just be genuine, because you care, right? You care that this is going on in your center. Everyone is feeling it. Everyone's getting affected, and this is not what you want. So voice your concerns and your observations, right? Like, tell them what you've observed and what other people have observed. And then be empathetic and just let them talk. Give them the floor, let them say what they have to say, and just listen. So after that is done, obviously you can control what you can control, right? So you can't give them marital advice or parenting advice or anything else that's going on in their personal life, but you can control things that are going on in your business, because obviously it's your business, right? So some things to consider, and some things that might help this person with their burnout. Number one, offer vacation time. They might have 2-3 weeks, they might be entitled to 2-3 weeks throughout the year. Why wait 6 months down the line when obviously you see that this person needs to be off ASAP? So offer this to them in a nice way, obviously, right? Second thing you can do is review your weekly schedule and make changes accordingly. And what that is review the schedule of the staff. How many hours is this person working? So if it's a reasonable amount of hours, like between 32 and 35 hours, offer solutions. Maybe you can decrease hours. Maybe you can offer a 4-day schedule. Try to find a solution and see how that comes across with your educator. Again, many educators love the idea of having a 4-day schedule just because they get 1 extra day off throughout the week, so they can rest, go to a gym class, or just do whatever they want to do that extra day, right? So make this a part of your solution. Offer it and see how it goes. Offer perks such as a gym membership to your employees. Now, this is something that I absolutely love, because you're caring for your employees on a huger level. So it's not just about the kids and about the program and showing up on time. You're just showing them that we want you to be happy and healthy, and we offer, I don't know, let's say you want to pay them a yearly membership, or maybe you want to offer a discount or pay, 50% of their annual membership. Whatever the case is, whatever you want to offer, I think it's so doable, because it shows, number one, your staff that you care about them and their health overall, right? So if your educators are healthy and exercising weekly and just taking care of themselves, chances are that the burnout rate is going to be much more lower in your center, right? So try to figure out something like that, a yoga class, Pilates class, whatever you want to organize in your center. I've seen centers that actually offer yoga and Pilates classes in the center during lunchtime or an hour after work. The center pays someone to come in and do a class for everyone once a week, twice a week, whatever your budget allows for you to do. But this is a great way to make sure you're taking care of your staff, you're taking care of your people, right? So that's another solution, another tip you can try to ease your educator's load and their stress level. One of the other things that you can do is you can set clear roles and responsibilities in your employee handbook. So when you open up your center, you most probably have an employee handbook that has been created and most probably updated every single year. Make sure that what your staff, your educators are responsible for is clear. You don't want to be overburdening your staff. You don't want to set expectations so high that they don't have time to do anything that they have to do, and on top of that, do whatever is on this special list that you've created for them. You want to make sure that roles and responsibilities are handed out evenly, that you respect their time, their energy level, and you treat them as professionals, right? So we need to be aware of that, of our expectations of our staff. You don't want to overburden them. You don't want them to work 40 plus hours a week and then expect A, B, and C on top of that, right? So make sure you look into your handbook and your rules and regulations, or just do like a quick review to see maybe there's something in here that maybe, you're the cause that they feel stressed out and overwhelmed. So that's another thing you can try. Encourage staff to get out of the center when it's their lunch break or coffee break and take a walk. Sometimes taking a walk does so much good to the soul. You get fresh air, you get cold air in your face, you disconnect from the kids and from the center, you're getting some exercise in, your blood is, it's flowing all around. They might want to listen to some music or a podcast or whatever. Just encourage them to get out of your environment, at least an hour or 45 minutes or 30 minutes a day. And that might help as well. And offer workshops or online courses on self-help skills. I think this is something that I don't see enough daycares offering to their staff. And especially with the internet and just classes all over the place. There's classes everywhere if you look for them. And you can even find teachers, professionals that cater only to daycare teachers, and they offer online workshops on anything: dance, movement, professionalism, I don't know, stress, meditation, workouts, yoga, whatever, you name it. There's classes on the internet for so many things that can benefit your staff. So why not offer this to your staff? It's another way you can decrease their stress level, decrease them feeling overwhelmed, and that may help as well towards decreasing your burnout rates. Again, not every single educator that goes on a burnout goes because your working conditions are awful. I don't want to believe that. I think that a lot of people have a lot of stress at home. The cost of living goes up, kids, family, cooking, and all that stuff that happens at home. And on top of that, working 30 plus hours a week, not taking care of yourself, not eating well. It takes a toll on someone, right? So, obviously we're all human, and you want to make sure that you're surrounded by quality staff that is showing up because they want to show up, because they love you and your center and what you stand for. So if you, as a daycare owner, if you can tweak a few things or offer a little bit extra to your staff, why not? If it's going to make sure that less of your staff is going to go on burnout, it's going to make sure that you're attracting quality people to you, why wouldn't you, start rethinking things that you can offer, perks that you can offer to, first of all, make you stand out, have an awesome team culture, team vibe, and really allow educators that are working in your center to feel that you care for them and you love them, and that that yes, their job might be difficult at times, but you appreciate them and everything that they do for your business. So those are my few tips and tricks. Hopefully it gave you some ideas in your center. Let me know if you have other suggestions. Maybe you offer something different in your center. I'd love for you to know. Comment underneath this video. I'll go back and I will read them and comment back. I invite you to go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and obviously go to www.profitabledaycare.com. Sign up for my newsletter. I send out a weekly newsletter every Thursday filled with the latest blog and video training, so you never have to miss one. So that was the training for today. Let me know if you enjoyed it. If there's something else you want to learn about, obviously message me directly or comment below. And I wanted to take a few moments just to mention something. So I am in the process of opening up a few spots for an online course that I will be launching in November. It's not ready yet, but I wanted to offer a beta experience. And what that is basically is I would offer my students, you guys, people that have been following me since the beginning, at a very discounted rate. I would offer the entire program to you, and we could go through it together. It's going to be 4 to 5 weeks long. We start September 23rd. And I wanted to mention this on this video because it's going to be the last time I mention it before I launch in November. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of it. This program, this beta experience is for you if you are an educator or someone maybe working in the field that has aspirations of opening their own center. So whether it's in a few months, a few days, a few years. So if you're someone that's thinking about opening a childcare center, this is for you. And this is also for you if you already own a center, but you have to rethink a few things, such as your Facebook ads targeting, or you're writing up a policy booklet or an employee handbook, or even rethinking your educational philosophy, your educational foundation. I walk you through all of that step by step. So if you want more information, I actually have a detailed video that explains module by module what is included, and the templates and the freebies and the extras trainings that I'm going to be providing. You'll have access to all of that, and of course you'll have access to me, where I will hold your hand and take you through the program week by week, day by day. We will do this together. So if you are interested and you want to be a part of the beta experience, I would love to have you. I would love to help you. It's going to be really fun, and I can't wait to get it started. September 23rd. It's done totally online, so there's no classroom that you have to show up. All you need is access to Wi-Fi, and you're all set. Details will be posted below, so click on the link and you'll be directed to a group where I have more detailed videos all about what's included and how exactly it's going to go down. So that's my training for today. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and obviously follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Have an awesome end of your day and an amazing weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.